recording anyway. This is a bit of a change of scenery from the usual fucking bedroom gig, but I said I'd change it up to make it a bit more comfortable. So, BennyMac, we have you on. Dylan McBennett, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to be on.
Yeah,
that's a pleasure.
That's sick. Now I've been looking forward to having you on now for a while because we've had lads on. We had T-Mac on for fitness, and then we've had Cameron on with charity and stuff, and we've had Sean on last week with Irish Nightlife, and it's kind of I'm really interested in music just as a whole. So I wanted to have a musician or preferably rapper on. It's good to have you. So when did you start? When did you say to yourself like, oh, I'm gonna start writing raps like?
So like generally when I was younger I was always very good at writing like.
Yeah.
So when I was writing stories in primary school and stuff like that, they'd always ask me to do it in class, and usually get a couple of claps now and again. And it was kind of early on. I knew I wasn't good at a lot of things, but I was very good at one thing.
Yeah,
that was what I said to myself when I was very young. So then, about 14, 15, I was writing these raps on Facebook. I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah,
I done a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when I got 215 likes.
Yeah, I actually think I do remember that. Yeah, that was gas.
I think I put Airfield in it.
Yeah.
And I got it blew up and I got a lot of comments and I got a lot of shares. And then I kept doing them, and people were like, "You should make videos of these." My best mate Reese said, "Yeah, you should keep doing videos of these." And I said, "Don't think about it." So then I was with a girl. We won't name names,
right?
And we broke up. It was 2018. It was March, and I said to myself, you know, like, when you break up with a girl, you have a lot of raw emotion.
Yeah.
And you don't know really where to put it. You can either sit there and you can let it get to you. Yeah. Or you can do something about it. So I said, listen, I have a lot of this raw emotion. I was listening to, you know, I don't know if you know XXXTentacion.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Listening to a lot of his music at night to sleep. Yeah. And I was like, you know what, I need to do something. Listen to music. Like, I need to do more than listen to music. Yeah. So I said, you know what, I'll start writing music. Yeah. So first song I ever made and put up on Facebook was This Is America remix. Yeah. Now it was awful. Yeah. And when you make music at the start, for anyone who wants to make music, it's going to be awful.
My first podcast was awful. Do you know what I mean?
Everyone's first.
Terrible. Awful. Yeah. That's and what me and Tony were saying the first episode. Your first anything's awful. But
awful. Go on, yeah. Awful. And you're going to have to realise that if you want to become something, no matter what you do, the first thing. Yeah. And some people's first thing is going to be better than others. Yeah. But they're all going to be awful. Yeah. You become.
Exactly.
So the first one was awful. The second one was awful. And then I made one about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids in my basement. I don't know if you remember that. Now, disclaimer, there's no kids in the basement. Yeah. None.
Anymore.
Not anymore, yeah. We got them out, we threw them out.
They weren't paying fucking rent. It's a pandemic, for fuck's sake.
I had to get the face mask on. But I got that out and that got a buzz. Yeah. Then I made one about called Silly Bitches Around the Lock. Yeah. And good old Robbie G commented on it. So I was like, we're getting a bit of traction now, And then eventually we got the Punter. Yeah. That's when I started saying, you know what, I could probably do this full time. Yeah. That has 26,000 views now, over 680 comments, and I think it was like 500 shares. Yeah. So when that was there, I was like, Jesus. And then people started singing it, sending me videos. Yeah. I was like, this is crazy business. And now the saying, I don't know if you know the What a Day Mark saying. Yeah. It's gone viral. Yeah. It's mad.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that. Like,
people are. I'm scrolling through stories on Instagram and I see What a Day Mark. I'm like, I don't even know this man. Yeah. It's little, like, I'm like, this is a buzz. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So now, like, for me, like, rapping was at that time, it was just a form of escapism. It was just a way to get out what you were feeling in your head.
Yeah, big time.
And now I've made a lot of dark songs. I made an album full of dark songs when I was in that kind of place. Yeah. And I have a few decent songs on it, but overall it was bad. Yeah. And the first couple of things I put out were bad. I made my first album on Spotify was Macworld. Yeah. Shocking. Yeah. Bad, like it is. Yeah. And you have to, if you're going to be a musician, you have to know that. Yeah. And like the songs I was making then that I thought were good, look back and you're like, wow. Yeah. But you need to do them things, you know.
Big time. It's trial and error, do you know what I mean?
Exactly, it's trial and error. Yeah. And eventually you're going to become what I feel like I've become now, like, you know. Yeah. But no, that's how we started. Like, I kind of was in a bad place and I wanted to get out of that bad place, and I feel like rap helped me in that way, you know? Yeah.
But it was interesting to me that, well, I'm just double checking that it's picking us up. Yeah, it was interesting to me that you said that it came from when you started writing raps originally, that it came from kind of a dark place that you were in, because I found, like, as I was saying to you outside the shop there when we met, that rap is sort of a form of understandable poetry. Like it's kind of like a simplified poetry in a way of like everyone gets it, and it's like you can actually tell what the person's going through when they rap it. And it's the rhythm, because I think like a lot of people say like our minds are made up of rhythm, and our minds are made up of things like that. Like that's why we dance, that's why we do things like that. And it's like because it's like the rhythm embeds it into your head, sort of like that. And I used to see one of them old quotes on Facebook. It's like you listen to the music when you're happy, or the lyrics when you're sad, sort of thing. And it is true. And I was like, as I find when you're in the darker place you're in, the better material you do come out with.
100%.
Like for example, the other day I was just writing. I was getting on my computer, and I was just going to write part of the story that I'm writing at the moment. It's the third installment to the novel that I'm writing, and I was just like, fuck, I'm just gonna write something else. So I just wrote down the box, I just wanted to write the box. And then I just wrote kind of like a poetic style short story about the like personification of mental illness, like as if he's a person that lives with you in your head, basically. And I talk about in it like that, how you hate everyone when you're suffering with him. When you're with him, you hate everyone, but the person you hate the most is the person you were before you moved in with him, before you start living with him. And it's sort of like and when I was just writing it thinking, I wasn't thinking is this going to be good or bad. I was thinking this is just what I'm writing because this is how I feel about it. And then at the end, then I realized I was like, that's actually quite good. Like when I read back on it, I'll probably read it next week. But what I was saying as well was, because I was listening to your tunes, but I was listening to a few there before you came over, and I realized that like from the older ones up until now, even there seems to be quite a focus on like kind of humor in your raps and stuff. And it's kind of, as you were saying, you started it from a bad place. So is there any particular reason you went with kind of the humor approach? Like
I'm known, and I wouldn't be I'm not being cocky when I say this, I'm known for being quite outspoken and comedic, like
no, you're a funny cunt, like you always have been.
It's how I deal with how I feel, in a sense. And I wanted that to resonate in my music, because I want my music to be me. I don't want it to be a concocted version of me. I want it to be the real version of me. I want people to feel, I know obviously I have the persona as BennyMac, but I want people to feel Dylan McBennett in my music. And how I deal with sadness is through comedy. I've always been a person who's dealt with sadness through comedy. Like I know I've had a lot of fights with people and I just laugh. I can't help it. Like, you know, it's just, if I'm having a fight with someone, I'll just laugh out of even nervousness, or just because I don't know how to deal with it in any other way than through comedy. But as I was saying to you, I feel, as it's a joke in the comedic community, a lot of comedians are depressed because that's how they deal with it. And when I write me music, I want people to feel happy, but I want people to feel a message. So I made that song. I made a song called 13 Reasons Why on my new album. And I threw a few comedic bars in there. Like I want to breed like camel fat. Fool fighters. I'm a fool fighters. And then I said, I wonder why I'm like this. Like a wibbly wobbly wonder. Wibbly wobbly wonder. So I have sad bars in there, but I also have comedic bars in there, because I want people to feel both.
The contrast is good.
The contrast, exactly. And then I wrote a song about Mango Loco.
A
lot of people think I'm messing in that song. I'm continually addicted to Monster. Continually, and it takes a toll on my life. And but obviously I'll talk about that in a comedic fashion. And someone came up to me last week and work and was like, "You're ruining hip hop by making songs like Mango Loco." I was like, "Mate, I can't go a day without having a Monster. I'm not ruining hip hop." He's like, "Hip hop's about telling stories." I am. I can't go a day without a Blake and Grey Monster. And he's like, "I'm telling you, I'm going cold turkey. I'm flopping around work. I can't even breathe." But no, it's just the way I deal with sadness is through comedy, and I wanted to portray that in my music in a sense. Like,
no, that's class. And I think it's true as well. Like I think like a lot of comedians suffer with depression. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's just like look at like Robin Williams, for example. Like he was I always get confused. My brain always says, when I say Robin Williams, always says Robbie Williams, and I just imagine some big English outfit just standing there, like, and I'm just like, get out of my head, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Mrs. Doubtfire. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
not talking about angels.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, so like for example, like Robin Williams, like happiest man in the world, arguably, and he took his own life. Like, do you know what I mean? Unlike Jeffrey Epstein did, but
unlike Epstein.
Exactly.
He actually done it.
And exactly. So he so it's it's just it interests me that like that it is, we do result to that, and I think some people might look at it as a form of like distraction, like you're going from one extreme to the other. Like you might be feeling really, really low, so you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna act really funny and happy because it's the exact opposite of how I'm feeling. And it might be that, it might be a psychological thing like that, but I think it's like there's nothing more enjoyable than bringing pleasure to other people.
100%.
Like at all. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like if you're like, even if you give someone like a homeless person money or something, like that, the feeling you get of giving to people and they actually appreciate it, whether it be in terms of something materialistic or something like entertaining, like that, there's just nothing better. Like when I done my first comedy show, I expected to just go and I was looking up tips about your first comedy show and everything like that, and all I was getting was, you're gonna flop. Like that's it. Like just be prepared to flop. So I was going in with this mindset of, I'm gonna fail and I'm gonna make no one laugh. And I said, I'll record it. And the only reason I did record it is to say how I'm gonna better myself.
Exactly.
So I was like, right, I'll notice things I do on stage and stuff. So I recorded it, and I ended up getting it's the Lucky Duck, it's called. It's like the act of the night. Now they do give it to, in the Battle of the Acts, they do give it to a lot of first act actor who, shit myself there, I thought we weren't being recorded again. So I was just about to wreck the place, like honestly. But, fuck that. But no, and they do give it to a lot of first time acts and stuff, so they'll come back and blah blah blah. But I ended up getting that, and then when I put up the video of it, when I had the video there, I put it up. I think it's only on like 1,000 views or something.
On YouTube.
When I put it up, like I had a lot of lads who I went to school with. Ironically enough, lads who I was always worried about kind of doing comedy because of, in a way of like in school, I always wanted to be a comedian. Since I was young, I'd always wanted to be a comedian, and I was just like, it's always that pressure to kind of a young, like Dublin all boys school, because I was in Chanel, that if you were like, I'm going to be looked at as a weirdo, an outcast, and I'm going to be ripped into if I do this, and it's kind of that pressure's on you all the time. And it was weird enough, like the lads who I never expect were texting me saying I was saying that, and it was gas, like, do you know what I mean? And I was like, so many people were saying I was saying it and it was hilarious, and that feeling, like it was then I was just like, nah, this is definitely what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? I want to continue performing, and I want to continue doing stuff like that. So there is, like, from a perspective of writing funny raps is one thing, but bringing the humor to other people's lives is something else entirely, and it's great.
It's euphoric in a sense, like, and you were saying about people worrying about what people think and all. Yeah, like at the start of it, I was the exact same, you know. We was in Davis, our boys' school as well as you, and it's kind of like that masculine thing, like you're afraid of what your mates are gonna think. And listen, at the start, I'm lucky I've had a good support system around me in that regard for rapping. My cousin Jordan, Jesus, I can never thank the bleeding fella enough. Yeah. And if he's watching Hill now, like, he's every single song, he supports, he shares everything. Yeah. The lads in Tesco have done the exact same. Yeah. But what's important when you're doing stuff like this, and I say you'll realise yourself, you can't have yes men around you. Yeah. If we do a bad song, the lads will tell me. Well, Jordan's like Jordan. I have Jordan, and then I have Reece Nevin, and they're on two different sides of the spectrum. Yeah. Jordan is the one that keeps me going if I'm feeling down. Yeah. So even if I make a bad song, you'll still support me, and you need that as well. But then Reece Nevin are the lads that are telling me, if this song is shy, it's fucking shy. Yeah, of course, isn't it? Yeah, of course you can. It's fucking. We're talking about Pizzagate and all. True, I was like, if this song is fucking shy, it's fucking shy. Yeah. Ever more so, because Evans doesn't give a rat's. But Reece will tell me if I've made a good song, and then Reece will tell me if I've made a bad song, which is important, because if everyone in my life is telling me that I'm doing amazing, even though I'm not, it'll blow your ego up too much. Your ego's gonna blow up, and I'll be walking around like Floyd Mayweather in his prime. Like, and I don't want that. I want people to tell me if I make a good song, Jesus Christ, that's good. Yeah. If I make a bad song, Dylan, this is shite. Go back in and write it again. Yeah. And I will go back in and write it again. Exactly. And I'll perfect it until it's perfect. And I'll walk back out of that room after writing it again and be like, yeah, this is it. And then they'll be like, right, okay, I'm making this. But like, at the end of the day, after I started making raps for a while, I remember I had clowns commenting on me out saying, I hope you're not doing this for real. I remember I had people tagging people in the Punta out saying, this is the sap I was telling you about. Yeah. And then I'm just like, at the start I was like, you know what, I'll reply to these clowns and I'll give them a piece of my mind, but at the end of the day, it's an extra view, number one. Yeah. Or that they give me an extra view. At the end of the day, you're taking time out of your day to put another man down. Exactly, yeah. What are you doing with your own life? Exactly. Number three, I was just at the end of the day, like, no matter what I do, I could be a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Yeah. And people will still criticise me. 100%, yeah. It's the things with even millionaires giving money to other people. Yeah. They still get criticised. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're going to be criticised. And at the end of the day, I just know what, I don't give a rat's what these people think. Yeah. You know? And because I was a plethora of them, like, there's even people in my job. And I still get to this day, like, even Evan and Reece be ripping into me, but, like, you know, they're only messing with, then you get the people who aren't messing. Yeah. And I know the difference. I know how to differentiate between when people are messing about what I'm doing and when people are serious. And eventually you just cut it out. It becomes noise in the background.
Yeah.
If they want me songs and streaming music, thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to say they're putting money in my back pocket because I don't make a lot of money off Spotify.
Yeah.
I don't do it for the money though. I do it to make people happy.
Of course, yeah.
And I've had a lot of people text me in that regard saying it has made them happy.
Yeah.
But as I said, in Ireland, there's a big jealousy thing. Especially in the rap game in Ireland.
Yeah.
There's so many clicks in the rap game in Ireland, and it wrecks me head.
Yeah.
And the problem in Ireland as well with rap is the shy people are rewarded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shy people are rewarded. There's people with 1 million views that can't even flow or rap.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm leading Jay-Z or anything.
Yeah.
But I know I'm better than these blokes.
Yeah,
I put the time and the graft in behind the scenes for the past few years. These haven't. They've just hopped on a beat and said shy.
Yeah.
And they're after getting 1 million views. And it's head wrecking for the people who actually work hard at it.
Big time.
And I'm looking at them, and like rap is about, like I always say, right? You can talk what you want on a rappy. You can say what you want. You can talk. You can bring in whatever you want, but it has to sound good sonically.
Yeah.
If you're sacrificing words just for the sake of words and not having them flow, there's no point.
Yeah.
And this is what they're all doing. They're saying, "Oh, I'm in the hood with guns." These blokes are from Dunleary.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, lads, what are you talking about? You're in no hood. Like, come on.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, get a grip. If you're going to rap in Ireland, unless you actually do bleed and shoot people.
Yeah. Don't be saying you do.
Don't be saying to shoot people.
Exactly.
We're not rocking around in Rovers. We're not rocking around in Bleeding. I don't know. Now, with Tamir, I do reference a Rover in one of my songs.
Yeah.
Because it rhymed.
Yeah.
But I don't say I'm rocking around a Rover. I don't drive.
Yeah.
You're not going to see me rocking around a Rover.
Yeah.
But the lads are like talking about as if they're in trouble with the feds now. You aren't in trouble with the
exactly,
feds.
Yeah.
Just stop. Let's be real. Let's be real on the beat. Let's talk about real things, right?
Exactly.
And that's a big problem in Ireland. And there's a big jealousy thing no matter what you do. Do you know, now I actually like PJ Gallagher, but you know what he said about Irish rappers?
What?
We're not cool enough.
Yeah.
Like, PJ.
Yeah.
Big fan of you.
Yeah.
Come on, PJ.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But I want us as an Irish generation right now, because the past lads have set it up for us. Little Dialect, Costello, wordsmiths. Unbelievable. The two of them are wordsmiths. I love them. Love them to bits. They've set it up for us. They've laid down the foundation. And Lunatic as well. Rest in peace, Lunatic.
Yeah.
He's set up the foundation for us. Now we need to knock it out of the park, you know. And if we're going to knock it out of the park, we need to remove this jealousy thing in the country.
Yeah.
There's a big jealousy thing in the country. Like, no
big
matter, I'd say when you were doing the podcast, I'd say you had a few people.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, there's going to be people who are like,
exactly,
don't do it. You're not good enough. You're not this. And they're just like, you know what, I am.
Yeah, exactly.
You just have to think to yourself, I am good enough.
Yeah, and you have to. It's interesting that you said that about a few points there that you said that were really interesting. Like for one, the jealousy thing is huge in Ireland. Like it's unbelievable. It's like kind of even L1s and L-fellas. Like it's whole true. The whole Irish thing is, oh yeah, I'm mad doing that. Like everything is like, I think I'm mad doing that. Yeah. Like, everything is like that, and it's all just like. It's sort of like everyone has to have bragging rights over each other in this country, like, and it's just like you can't be just happy for someone else to excel at all, even if they aren't excelling. You can't give people can't give support because they're like, why would I give support? Like, it takes 2 seconds to share something. Do you know what I mean? And like, there's only a select handful. There was a good few people fair play with the comedy, blah blah blah. Yeah. Then when I post something, there's only a handful of people who actually share it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Same.
And it's like. It's sort of like, which is grand if you're not interested in sharing it, that's fine, but like it's the criticism and jealousy part that kind of gets me. And it was really interesting as well because I was talking this with my mate, a musician of mine, James is his name, and we were talking about like he's one of the probably the best guitarist I know. Like he's unbelievable at guitar and he's a good singer as well, and like he makes covers and stuff and just puts them on Instagram. And we were talking about like the way he just kind of has like a background like of art or something like that, and it wouldn't get much recognition. But then you'd have these lads on TikTok with their fucking shite at singing, and they're doing this cursive voice, you know, that fucking horrible. I'm not even gonna imitate it. I can do it, but I'm not gonna imitate it because I get sick. Do you know what I mean? So they're doing this horrible voice, and they're there with like their fucking sex appeal, and it's like, got the door open, but But Yeah, and like they're there with that kind of like that fucking sexy hair and they're fucking like shite singing pretty much. Yeah. And it's like they're just fucking, it's just the sex appeal part that's selling, and they're not it's not their talent, and that's really annoying because it's like a lot of the time it's nothing to do with talent, it's just to do with. But one thing as well that you have to realise, and this might piss a lot of people off, a lot of people listening to certain song genres, they aren't all there. Like they are all there, but I'm saying they're quite simple. Do you know what I mean? Like they're quite. So it's like a lot of the time it's like they hear something and they're just like, oh, I like that, and then they just don't notice anything else. It's just it's very singular mentality of I like that and that's it, and I don't like that, and I do like spice bags, and it's just fucking. Do you know what I mean? And I like FIFA and COD, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? And it's just kind of. It's like, no, I play FIFA and COD. I'm toward that FIFA, but like, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like I find in Ireland as well a lot, especially compared to anywhere else. It's just this fear of being different is unbelievable, and 100%. It's like even back in school, I remember everyone was wearing the same, like, and even still today, everyone wears the same clothes, everyone listens to the same music, everyone drinks the same drinks when they're out. Exactly. Everyone fucking gets their haircut in the same barbers, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean?
I know, yeah.
And it's just like, and everyone has the exact same interests. Like there's no, I don't know. It just blows my mind. And maybe it's the same in America. Maybe it's the same everywhere else. But the whole following the crowd thing. But it's like, and then if one person's different, like, they're just slated for it. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And but as you said, it's like there comes a time, and the thing is, interestingly enough with me, before I started doing all of this, I kind of like I was in such a dark place that I didn't care what anyone thought anyway. Right. So when I started, I was already at the stage of I don't give a fuck what anyone says. So if someone comments something negative, let them. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? They're not, nothing's going to affect me. Which obviously, they're saying that, but it's like when people say, I don't get nervous before a boxing match. Like what Cameron was saying, everyone does. And obviously, it does affect you. Whether it affects you consciously or subconsciously, it does affect you a little bit, the negative comments and stuff. But you have to remember, as you were saying, at the end of the day, what the fuck are they doing at the moment that's different than anyone else? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Working a job they probably hate. They might have talents that they don't know about because they're too scared to fucking go after them. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you have to take all that into consideration and realize that like it's not you're not a prick for saying you're clearly better than dickheads.
No,
do you know what I mean?
Because
you're in a better business.
Put the work in. You have a right to
big time
believe in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do you know what I mean? But you've recently brought out a new album, haven't you?
We did. I brought down the old Lockdown Chronicles. Yeah. Now come out. That's I believe it's my best piece of work. You know. I wanted to do a thing this year where I had albums previously that, as I said, they weren't great.
Yeah.
And this year, 2020, I wanted to take a bit of scruff of the neck. Obviously, as I said, like in previously, I released a few shocking things. And I felt like that was what people taught me. Obviously, I had Punto and people enjoyed Punto, but I wanted to rebrand and bring out a body of work that people were like, oh, Jesus Christ, this fella can actually rap.
Yeah.
So I released Big Fucking Benjamin at the start of the year.
Yeah.
7 songs. They were decent, and we have one of my favourites on it is called Diddle Daddle. Yeah. It's a good flow and all, and I felt like people appreciated that, and they were like, geez, Dylan McBennett can actually rap.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I said, you know what, lockdown come in.
Yeah.
And I had all this free time. So I released Trending Worldwide.
Yeah.
And that has bordering 6k now on Spotify.
It's class.
Overall, so I'm delighted with that. And that kind of set me apart then. Big Fucking Benjamin was good. Trending Worldwide was better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then, obviously, the lockdown lasted longer than we thought it would.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had all this free time to make music.
Yeah.
And Steve, my producer from Blanche, Steve Mason, kept sending me over beat after beat after beat. And I was like, you know what? Let's bring another body of work out. Yeah. Even better this time, though. Yeah. And I was in that frame of mind where I had all these emotions because it was lockdown and it was an emotional time.
Yeah, of course.
And I had all these emotions. So I said, you know what? Go on, we'll make another one. So I made, I think it has 10 songs. Yeah. And what Trending Worldwide doesn't have, that Lockdown Chronicles does, is the emotion part. Right. I didn't have any sad songs on Trending Worldwide. I didn't make people know who Dylan McBennett actually was. Yeah. Because as I always say, like, I'm very active on Instagram. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I have this persona as a bloke who's effectively mentally gone. And that's what people think, right? Until they speak to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, and now one of the lads was talking to somebody he knows, and she was like, "It's Dylan McBennett always like that?" And I'm like, I am. Like, what I am on Instagram is me. Yeah, but of course. It's a selection of one bit of the day that's me. Of course, I'm a normal bloke. Yeah, yeah, I'm not psychotic 24/7. Yeah. I'm not battering a bleeding wardrobe every bleeding day. Like, I'm a normal bloke. I can have normal conversations. So I wanted people to actually know that I can feel emotion. Instead of being this mad thing on Instagram. So I made the song called Save Me. That's my favourite song ever. And I talked about, as we were talking about at the spark, the green thing and all. Talk about when I used to smoke green, and a lot of people give into peer pressure. And I wasn't one of them people. Like, I smoked green for about 2 months. I remember my ma caught me with a baggie. But it wasn't a weed baggie. It was a coke baggie. But I wasn't doing coke. I was just smoking weed. And my ma caught me with a baggie, and she was like, "What are you doing coke?" I was only 16. She was like, "What are you doing coke?" I was like, "I'm not doing coke. I'm doing weed." So my dad. My dad used to do drugs and all, and he took me up to the grave of a few of his mates, and he was like, "This is why you should never do drugs." And I was like, you know what, he's right, you know. I felt like I was disrespecting my dad because he went through all that, and here's me smoking weed. So I said, you know what, I'm going to put this on a song. I'm going to make people know, because I say a lot of people can resonate with what I was saying.
Big time.
So I said, I was sitting down in my room, I was like, you know what, fuck it, we'll do Save Me. First thing was about the green, then it was about losing friends to green. Then it was about a bloke I knew who was very like, I know a few people come to me with their problems. The problem with me is I can help people with their problems, I can't help myself. Sure, a lot of people are like that, but there's a fellow I know, and he's very suicidal, and I talked about that. It was like how, and I always talk about like how, you know, say the same, if people come to you with advice, how can you help them if you can't help yourself, you know? Like, I always say, how can I be responsible for someone else's happiness if I can't control my own?
Big time.
But then again, you just do it. So I put that into the song, and then I put a bit about my own problems into the song then. Just like a catalogue of things. That's my favourite song I've ever made, and I'm glad that's on the album. Then I made a few, like Mango Loco. One song, as I said, but I am addicted to Monster. And then I've done Ripple. I like to, when I'm making albums, I like to have a blend of songs you can dance to. Songs you can sing to your mates at a party, and then songs you can cry to. And that's what I feel Lockdown Chronicles has that all my other albums don't.
That's sick then,
There's music on that that'll apply to everyone. There's about losing your bird. About Bladen losing your mind. And about losing your wits with Bladen being addicted to Monster and Green and all. But it's a project I'm proud of. A project that I feel if a bigger artist put out, it would have got more recognition. Now, it's my most streamed album of all time. And it's only out a week.
Right.
We're at 7,000 streams now.
That's unreal.
So it has been appreciated, but I feel like if a bigger artist brought it out, it would be appreciated more.
I get you.
And that's not me being cocky. It's just I put so much work in behind the scenes, and I feel like, as McGregor always says, if you put the work in behind the scenes, you know, a lot of people aren't a fan of McGregor, but he has a few good quotes.
He does, yeah.
If you put the work in behind the scenes, you have a right to be confident about your abilities. You know? And you know, like long hard days and nights putting work in behind the scenes, I feel like I'm capable of being confident about the abilities. So it's just things like that, you know. But that's an album I'm proud of, and as you were saying about now the remix coming out of Arcane Castle. Mad scenes. Mad. I never thought people would be bleeding, dancing in a bleeding club to my music, but here we are.
That's it. But that's the thing as well. I mean, when you, it's just interesting as well that you said that, like, if a bigger artist brought it out, you have to realise as well, and you probably do realise, I'd say, like, when you look at, like, we take Eminem for example, right? We just, I know that's he's like probably the most famous rapper in history, or not in history, but in the world at the moment. He's still up there as one of the most famous. But if you take him for example, like, when you look at, like, you have so many people saying, like, oh, I found this Eminem LP from the early 2000s that no one's heard. Do you know what I mean? And at the time, it probably didn't blow up that big or whatever. True. Well, in the early 2000s, he was well known. But I'm saying, like, there's a lot of kind of, you have to look at it from a perspective of, like, if you keep excelling, which if you look on paper, you are. Do you know what I mean? If you keep excelling, that's going to be a look back that people are going to, do you know what I mean? Or this could be the takeoff album. By the looks of it, it's fucking, if it's 7,000 plays within a week, that's your best so far, and that's unreal. Do you know what I mean? 100%. And it's good that, like, that's the thing as well with everything. It's like, if you have goals, and it's just consistency. Do you know what I mean? You have to be. Well, consistency is one thing, right? If I tell myself I want to be a professional footballer, no matter how consistent I am, I'm not going to be, because I have 2 left feet when I play football. Do you know what I mean? I'm shy at football.
You need a bit of luck.
Yeah, exactly. You need to actually possess some of the talents, which you clearly do. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's with hard work, the dedication, and the talent itself. Do you know what I mean? There's no way really it can go wrong in a sense. Like, and you have to obviously expect knockbacks, huge ones. Do you know what I mean? Huge ones, because it's like what I think I was on my, like, 6th podcast maybe, and I was on this mad high because, like, my first podcast got like 500 views, and I was just like, this is fucking unreal. Do you know what I mean? Loads of people are listening to it, and then I, like, after I brought out, the views start dropping and dropping. Do you know what I mean? So it was just kind of like, I was getting kind of worked up about it, thinking that I was like, oh, it's sizzling out now. Do you know what I mean? No one's going to be listening to it anymore. But it's all about kind of keep going through them.
Exactly, you have to keep going through the hard times. Yeah. Same as me. Like we've had setbacks with a couple of the things. Like, and you just need to keep persevering through it. Like everything you bring out is not going to bang. You know, same like as you said about Eminem. Everything Eminem brought out didn't bang.
Exactly.
There's people that'll stick through you through them times as well. Like you're cult fans.
Yeah.
That's what I've tried to build up. You know, by bringing out similar music each time. That I want to aim to a niche audience. Like, because songs I make, like, you're not. I know a certain group of people that aren't going to listen to my things, and they listen to the. I'm not being bad. They listen to the shy.
Yeah.
That certain group of people, they listen to the shy.
Yeah.
They do listen to the shy, but I don't know. Like, I have an audience that I feel like proper rap fans are gonna get my music.
Yeah, okay.
Proper rap fans are gonna get my music.
Yeah.
People that like Eminem and people that like all that. If you like Lil Pump and all, you like the other crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm aiming at that audience. Like, I don't really give a rat's if I become rich and famous.
Yeah.
I don't give a rat's if my music affects a couple of people on a certain day.
Yeah.
Grand.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally delighted with that. That's like me in my bedroom affecting someone else's life.
Yeah.
Mad, and you're doing the same with the podcast.
Yeah.
You're in your kitchen now. You're going to affect someone's life with this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mad.
Yeah.
Just your creations are affecting another person's life. And then there's a fella at my job, Dylan McBennett. He's a YouTuber, and he was like to me last week. He was texting me saying, like, you're after inspiring me with that album. And I was like, that's mad, man. I'm after inspiring one of my living best mates.
Yeah.
Crazy, look.
No,
and
it's a great feeling. Like.
I think if you go into something for money, obviously, as I know, famous childish campaign or freestyle. Yeah. You need money to do what you want to do. Yeah. But if you go into something wanting money, I don't think you'll be as liked and successful. Like, yeah. Like, obviously I know Spotify, like, I haven't been paid a lot by Spotify, and I'll admit that happily. Like, I'm not one of these rappers that says, hey, I'm more blading 100,000 blading. I'm not. I'm blading, scraping off their level over a five or everything. You're not going to relax. Like, money is money. And I always say, like, I've been leaving work the whole time during this lockdown because I could be dead tomorrow with this COVID thing. You could be dead tomorrow. So just enjoy your life. Money is, I know you need money to do what you want to do, but it's not it's materialistic, you know. Big time. It's a material thing. Yeah. And I want to experience things mentally. Yeah. Like, I want to have highs and lows mentally. I don't give a rat's about money, like. Yeah. And it's the same with the rap. I went into this to affect people's lives and make people happy, because I was at a spot, as I said, where I wasn't happy. And I'm like, maybe if I make other people happy, I'll come through that and be happy. Yeah. Well, like, I'm the type of person that I don't give a rat's about my own happiness as long as other people are happy. Yeah, I'm similar, yeah. I'm that meme. Yeah. And I am, man, looking down on the ground. He's like, when you come home from a day making our mates laugh. Yeah. You're just going home to bed like, oh, fuck's sake. I'm still depressed. Literally, yeah. But now, I came from a stage where a couple of years ago, like, when I was with that girl I was talking about. Yeah. Now, come here, I wouldn't say lovely girl, amazing person. Yeah. And we just didn't work out, but partially my fault, because when you're with someone when you have mental illness, like, it's hard if they don't understand it. Big time. And I had a stage where I was going out with her, and I was drinking a lot to cope with what I was going through, you know. At the stage where I was going out with her, and when I had my anxiety went down here. Into my stomach. And the acid reflux in my stomach made me sick. So every time I was out with her, I was getting sick. Yeah. But I wasn't getting sick when I was out with the lads. The reason I was getting sick when I was out with her was because, as I said, I was responsible for her happiness. Because it's just me and her out. If I go home, she's upset. Yeah, I understand that big time. I kept getting sick because I was responsible for her having a good night. Whereas when I was out with the lads, I could go home. The lads would still have a good night. So it was like that for a while. I remember I went to Manchester and all, and I was sick, and I felt terrible, but it wasn't my fault. It was me, like, my mind, and I'm a hypochondriac, and that's what everyone thought it was. He's just being a dramatic person, and I am a dramatic person. During that time, stuff like that makes you feel really low, you know. Yeah, big time. And now I've come through it a lot. I don't get sick when I go on nights out anymore. Touch wood, because my birthday's on Friday and I'm going wild. I'm rats. I'm going wild. But the drinking didn't stop, like, in that regard. Cause I'll tell you a story now. I was on the whiskey bad for a while. Bad. Like, I was, and people were saying it to me, and I was like, it's not affecting me. Yeah. But as you can't see yourself being affected. Yeah, exactly. Other people around you can. Yeah. And the lads weren't like that, because me and my cousin Jordan, we drink. He still drinks whiskey. I'm gonna believe in bathroom. Yeah. But my mum was like to me, stop drinking the whiskey, and I was like, no, because my granddad was a big whiskey drinker, and he was a bit mad like that. Like, but for a while I was drinking, I was like, I'm fresh, grand, like. And then one night we were in the prize hut, And like I love my cousin Jordan down to the ground.
Yeah.
Die from. We were in the prize and I talked about Liverpool and Atletico.
Yeah.
And I was on one.
Yeah.
I was foaming at the mouth. I was like, fucking you cunts.
Yeah.
Because I hate Liverpool, but
yeah.
Like, it was deeper than that.
Yeah.
And we got outside and Jordan started taking me a shoulder and I swung him.
Yeah.
I was screaming at him. I was abusing him. Like, this was my best mate. I was abusing him. Like, I was in his face. Like, I fucking hate you. And and I don't. Like, it was just stuff like that. And but like, and it was just, I haven't drank whiskey in 8 months now.
Yeah, happy days. Yeah.
Fucking, you don't see yourself when you're in them things. It's a coping mechanism in a regard. Like,
it's an escape. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I was in that place for a while. And in my song Save Me, I talk about, like, I went to a bridge one night.
Mm-hmm.
We were gargling and I was on the whiskey as well. I went to a bridge. I was like, fuck it, do it, like.
Yeah.
But I didn't, like, you know.
Yeah.
As I said, I hesitated in it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did, you know.
Big time, yeah, of course.
And as I said, if anyone's listening to this and they've been going through that, I think you always come through it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to persevere, you know.
Yeah, big time, yeah.
And get into something you love.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. And
totally. Yeah.
It grows your confidence.
Yeah.
When you get into something you love, it grows your confidence majorly.
Big time.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're the same, like with the podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
Each podcast you get better.
Yeah.
Each podcast your confidence grows.
Yeah.
And as I say, each song I make, I grow and get better.
Yeah.
And I'm a confident person now, and I don't go through the same things I once did.
Yeah, 100%.
And obviously it helps if you have a good support system around
you.
I did. But now it's just like that, like, you know, because I went through something like that, and as you were saying, you're the same, because you went through something like that, you want to affect someone's life in a positive way. Big time. And I feel like that's what we're both doing in a regard, like.
Yeah, and I think as well, it's like when you were talking about like the drink and the escape, I think I was talking about in an earlier podcast about addiction. I was saying that like there's positive escapes and distractions, and then there's negative ones. So like if you're using you're on the gargle, and that's an escape from what's going on. Well, as a genre in general, and in Ireland, the drill scene that's been going on as well.
Now, don't get me wrong, there's a few drill songs that are good, but that's just because they're decent songs. I think it's a mad scene, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is a mad scene. I don't know what to I genuinely don't know what to think about. I think in London it's fucked, like.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stabbings because of it.
Yeah.
As I said though, there's a few good songs that come out of it, and there's a few people that do it right.
Yeah.
Dutchy Valley, I love Theo Man. Theo Man's Leo.
Yeah.
And Stormzy obviously jumping into a bit of drill now, but in Ireland, get the fuck.
Yeah.
Get the fuck.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them and I'm looking at blokes and I'm like, you're from fucking Wexford.
Yeah.
And you have a London accent.
Yeah.
That to me now, because I fucking love this country.
Yeah.
Greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
And these fucking cunts are using London accents.
Yeah.
Get
I know.
the fuck, like.
I know.
You know, it's
big
rap.
time.
It's Irish rap. If we want this to grow as a scene, don't be using London accents.
No,
don't be coming with that shit, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of them talk, as I said, about people lying in their songs. Shanking, killing, get the fuck. Like,
I know.
You aren't killing anyone.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
Where's your, show me your body count.
Yeah, exactly.
Show me the murder, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's exactly. I was saying that to one of the lads one day. I was just like, oh, fucking people saying they're moving weight and all, like when they're in a level 8 degree. Look, do you know what I mean? They're in UCD and all. Do you know what I mean?
Way over that, like, way over that. If you're moving weight with your words, grand.
Yeah.
Don't talk about moving kilos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're doing a bleeding 4-year degree in Trinity. Like,
yeah,
you're not moving
exactly.
kilos.
Yeah, there was a. That's what I was. I think as well. A lot of people were talking about like the fact that and I'm not mad about this driller in particular, as we were talking about Ink. I'm not too mad about his music, but like just in general, just like my man are mad, your man are mad, me. Do you know what I mean? It's just like
good impression.
Very good impression. I've been just singing the songs in a satire way, ironically, just for too long. But so like, and I'm not mad about him, but one thing that he does do is he sticks to the Irish accent, which I think I can respect. And I think as well, I'm not sure if he made this point or if someone who was doing, I think he was doing like a voice documentary before.
He did,
and I think the fella made the point that a lot of the young lads, like especially like the drill lads, well, only the drill lads are taking the London accent. And I think when he was saying when rap first came into England, a lot of them were doing it in an American accent. And it's like, I think that's why it's like culturally it moved from America to London, and then it moved from London to here. But I think at the end of the day, like a lot of the lads, like the drillers, like Chucks and stuff like that, and AV9 and all them lads, like all of them do a London accent, but a lot of them have been kind of like have family in London and stuff, so they'd consider themselves from there in a sense, but they're not. They're Irish. You know what I mean? So it's like it's kind of like you should. I think it's stupid putting on a different accent in a rap unless you're doing it ironically. Like if I love doing accents. If I was to bring out a rap doing it in a fucking Liverpool accent or something for the point of doing it in that accent, being funny, 100%. Then that's a different thing. But I think it just shows that it happened in England. They were using the American accent. I think there'll be an uprising in more and more rappers when hopefully it takes off here, like, do you know what I mean, properly, like. I
think it will, and I'd appreciate if it did, because we're kind of holding down, like, and as I mentioned before, Little Dialect and Costello are and Lunatic obviously godfathers of this game, and they're one of the first breed, and they're not a dying breed. They're not a dying breed. Little Dialect is still doing serious numbers, Costello serious albums, and they are the ones who brought this up, and I can only imagine them not being happy with what's happening now, like, you know. They're at the laying down the foundations, and we need to bring it on, and I think a lot of the accents that they're doing, and now Chucks and Emmanuel talking about, I think they have London connections, as you said, so I don't mind. And to be fair, there's a fella called AC130, I know, and he uses an Irish accent, which I appreciate. We're going to do drill using Irish accents. There's a few of them that do, but like some of them that don't. I'm just like, why? Why are you doing this? Like, we need to grow as a scene. England are nearly at the top in America now. Because they're sticking to their roots. They're sticking to what they're doing properly. Like Stormzy and all. A lot of the stuff that comes out, and Bugsy released a song the other day. I haven't heard anything like that out of America in years. The quality of that song is unbelievable. I literally got listening to me, mate Reese, got goosebumps listening to him. That shows him sticking to his own accent, repping his own city. He's creating a masterpiece like that.
Big time.
We could do the same here.
100%.
I've no qualms, I've no problems to see why we can't. You know, we're a talented nation. We probably don't get the credit we deserve. But I think if people stick to their roots, rap about what they want. And just stick to the accent. Rep your city, rep your town, rep your place, you know. And we can grow as big as we can.
100%,
There's a lot of us that do, and I'll mention a few rappers that I like now. Ja 1's very good. Big fan of Ja 1's. A fella, and a lot of people don't know him. I think he's little. A fella called Farla from D5.
Haven't heard
There's
him.
a song called Wunna. Flowing at his next level. He's a sicko. He's very good. And he reps the city. Obviously Little Dialect like Costello. There's a few of them. Now, do you know who I really like now, right? And I'm probably going to contradict myself a bit now. But he uses an Irish accent in a sense, but I just feel like Jafaris is a go. He is go at that fella. I look up, he is unbelievable, that fella. The music he makes, sick, next level. And he's getting the recognition. I think he has more monthly listeners than Versatile. Right. It's mad. Versatile are saying it's the biggest click and blade in Ireland.
And they're a comedic rap group as well.
They're a comedic rap group. I think they're going to branch out now with the next album. I don't think they're going to they'll come up with some comedic stuff, but I think I think they're going to dive into the drill scene.
They're facing a lot of heat at the moment as well.
They are facing a lot of heat.
So everyone is, any performer is,
any performer,
cancel culture and all that.
But they're facing a lot of heat for that thing, and I don't know the full story.
Neither do I.
I don't know whether he meant it in the way she said he did. I don't know whether
it didn't look like he did. It
didn't look like he did.
To be fair,
and like I said, like in a situation, like I think he didn't mean it I don't think he meant it in an intimidating way. I think he might have panicked. Whipped out the phone and said, look, but I don't know. As I said, I don't know. Maybe he did.
I seen it in her. I seen her video. I seen his video. When I watched her video, I was bulling. I was like, this little scumbag's at the parking in front of her and shouting racial slurs at her and all, and fucking laughing manically at her.
That's what I thought.
But when he pulled up and he just goes, "What's the story?" and then pulls off. I'm like, I don't know their history. Apparently they've had history. Apparently she called him out for doing blackface years ago or something like that.
And the Dublin City J's lyrics,
and it's now that is like that's understandable that that she called him out for that.
100%, I agree with that.
And but it's just, I don't know, when that happened, I was a little bit kind of, there's speaking out about experience and racism, which is horrible. I was only talking to my mate Terry last night, who I went to school with. And we're like, the fact that there is racist people who say racism doesn't exist anymore are fucking
especially in Ireland.
Stupid.
It's deep root in Ireland.
It's exactly. It's so, and the thing is as well. And like, I was listening to I always quote this podcast. I was listening to the Blind Boy podcast, and he was talking about that anyone who says the Irish were slaves to the British, we weren't slaves to the British. You know what I mean? We were treated awfully by the British for 800 years under horrible rule. But while we were working on plantations, paid working on plantations in the Caribbean, for example. We could earn our freedom. There was black people, Africans over there who couldn't earn their freedom. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is about that, people always use that argument when people say Black Lives Matter, and they go, oh, but what about the Irish? We were treated horrible, yeah. The thing is, we're not being treated horrible anymore. No, we're not. They still are. So they're allowed to have the limelight. That is just fair. Do you know what I mean? And it's people. That's why people say all lives matter and stuff. I've seen a great example of it. Oh, voice crack. It's not a podcast, but I don't have a voice crack. It's fucking. Yeah, I've seen a great example of it. It's like if I was in a restaurant and I broke my arm and you were having a heart attack and the ambulance came, they're going to see to you first, because yes, my situation may be still bad, but yours is worse and more important to be seen to. And I think that's it's very important. It's like when people say, now don't get me wrong, at the same time with this going on in America, the riots and stuff like that, I think 80% of them people are just looking for something to riot about. Do you know what I mean? Now that 20 other people are actually campaigning for change. Yeah, exactly. So it's like it is an interesting one, and I think it's obviously controversial. But yeah, but with Versatile, I think like some of their lyrics are they're provocative for black people. Big time, yeah. They are provocative, and I know you agree with the people who are. So do I, yeah. But at the same time, now that's the thing. I mean, if they were releasing a rap song and saying the things they're saying, right, I agree, which I do agree. Yeah. But if they were making a joke, if they were on a comedy stage and they made a joke about a black fella liking chicken, I don't see much of a problem with it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it'd be looked at in the same way. I don't either, because I know I agree with you, and I agree with the outrage it's causing. But like it's weird, because it's like it's kind of a tough one, because it's like they say that comedic rappers, but then it's like, is everything a joke, or do you actually? What do you take from their music and exactly? Like, yeah, I don't think it'd look the same on a comedic stage, because I think, well, definitely in the past, comedy was free range. Like, you say what you wanted to come. Those are the days. Yeah, it's changed now. But no, like as you were saying about the Black Lives Matter thing, Logan Paul made a very good point. Yeah, never heard that sentence before. I'm not as big as fan. Never heard the sentence before. I hate the bloke. Yeah, but Jake Paul is an idiot of a bloke. Yeah, but he said, I don't fear getting stopped at a traffic light. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he's white. He's a privileged white male. Yeah, doesn't fear. Yeah, I don't fear getting stopped at. Well, I don't drive, so I'm not going to be stopped at a traffic light. I don't fear. I've never had fear in my life. Yeah, of being profiled because of who I am. Yeah. My mates do. Yeah. I know my mate Josh out, man, and I tried my best to support him during this, because it's a hard time for them. Yeah, big time. I've never felt anything like that. I've never felt oppressed. Well, the one thing I do feel oppressed because of my lisp. Yeah, and that's not that I resonate with being oppressed because you're different. Yeah. Like I kind of know what it feels to be insulted because of something you can't change. Yeah, and they can't change their skin color. Yeah, and they shouldn't have to change their skin color. Yeah, and I've stopped racism in the job before. Yeah. And one of the security guards was being racially abused. He was called an M-word. Yeah. And I ran straight to the bleeding to him and said, "What are you doing?" Yeah. He was a middle-aged man. He was a white man, and I was like, I'm not surprised you're like this. Yeah, I'm not. Big time. Yeah. You've been raised like this. Yeah. And I'm not surprised. It's not going to change it. Yeah. But there needs to be change in the world. Big time. Yeah. But that point, like, it's so deep rooted in Ireland. Like, so deep rooted that we don't even understand. And there's so many middle-aged men that'll make racist jokes, and they won't even think they're making racist jokes, but it is racist. Big time. And it's hurting these people, and I've seen firsthand how it hurts my mates, like, and I've seen firsthand how they can't do anything about it. They're posting to Twitter to try and make change, and they should. Yeah, they should post to Twitter to try and make change, but they're my mates, and I'm like, I can't do anything to help you. Yeah, exactly. Because the world is the way it is. I can't do what I want to help you. Yeah. And that's why I said to donate all my money I'm making the rest of the year to the Black Lives Matter Fund. Yeah, fair play. I want to try and make a change. Yeah. I feel like I'm an outspoken person in this society. Yeah. Some people, probably wrongfully, look up to me. Yeah. And I want to try and set a good example to them people. Yeah, that big time. Racism isn't okay. Yeah. Oppressing people because something they can't change is not okay. Yeah. And as a society, it needs to change. Like, you know, we need a lot of change. It's not just racism we need to change. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of things we need to change in society. That cancel culture is one of them. Yeah. Cancel culture is bollocks. Yeah, I know. People can change from their past mistakes. 100%. And I think as well, when it comes to, I'm a firm believer in anything can be joked about in the right context. In the right context. Now, and I was watching a recent stand-up gig, Ricky Gervais, Humanity, and he was talking about it's just fucking gas what he was saying. He was talking about how he said something about a change, and when he was fucking hosting the Oscars. He said something about a change, and he goes, I've changed in the last year, but not as much as Bruce Jenner over there, right? Now, he got a lot of backlash from that because hilarious joke. And he said that, like, he got a lot of backlash from that because, for one, he dead named her, right? He called her old name, which was, and he goes, supposing we were back, and he was like, we were back in whatever it was, and he was like, and Bruce, because he was Bruce at the time, I know she's Caitlyn now, but he was Bruce at the time. Supposing he went to the doctor, and it's just the way he describes it. He's like, supposing we went to the doctor would open the door, just like, you are Brucey, you are big lad, just doing the proper manliest things ever, like, you are Bruce, whoa, and all like doing that, and all like, whoa, and then Bruce, he was like, supposing Bruce, takes cock out. He says, look at that. And he's like, fucking hell, Brucey, hey, that's a fucking huge cock. But the way he's like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. And he's like, yeah, surprisingly, I don't want to chop it off. And then he's just like, but I was like, fucking hell. Like, and just the way his delivery was perfect. Yeah. If he went out there and said, Caitlyn Jenner is a transgender, and I don't like the rest of the transgender people, no one would laugh, and that's offensive.
That's offensive.
Same way, like, if you go out and make a random joke about cancer, with no context, it's just, you're just a stupid cunt looking to be dark. Do you know what I mean? But if you go out and you make a well-constructed joke about anything in the world, you can, it's funny. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with rap, I think, and with comedy rap, and with any type of rap. You can rap about most things, versatile aside, because they're bleeding Egypts, but for now, but they're not Egypts, but
they've been Egypts.
They've been Egypts, right? Yeah. But like all that aside, I think you can do and say anything in context. You know what I mean? Like if you like. It's kind of, it's like with comedy. Myself, I've only made one relatively racist joke in any of my stand-up gigs, and my stand-up gig was that I was the joke was, and some people might find this racist, I think it's funny. I was saying I was coming home from a night out in town the other day, and I got into a taxi, and weirdly enough, the taxi man was Nigerian, like, which never seems to happen, like, which obviously it fucking does, like, you know what I mean? So that was the joke. But saying a stereotypical job, that isn't racist. So if someone pulled me up on that, I'd say, no, you're wrong. You're offended by that. You're not. Do you know what I mean? And it's a lot of the times with jokes and cancel culture, it's like, I think it was like, I think Ricky Gervais said it as well. I like him since his speech at the, I never used to like him, but since his speech at the Oscars where he called out all the pedophiles, I like that he earned respect from that. Yeah. But I think he said as well, it's like, if you're offended by a joke, it's your fault. It's not the joke's fault. Do you know what I mean?
Joke.
Yeah, exactly. It's a joke. Like, if you're offended by, like, if you're offended by one thing you think in that joke is personal to you, then you're the issue there. Do you know what I mean? It's not the joke's problem. Like, do you know what I mean? And that's the point of some jokes, is to be offensive and stuff like that.
Be offensive, but it's to take a light-hearted view on problems in society.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's the thing.
What you were saying about that joke you made, I have a similar thing in one of my songs, Lost Shoot.
Yeah.
There's a big oppression.
Yeah.
For people towards black taxi men.
Yeah.
There's a lot of taxi men. It doesn't matter what colour you are, but like, people have an oppression towards black taxi men. Yeah. And I said, I'm in a John Maxey. I said, I never care if they're black. See, I don't.
Yeah.
And that's me making a light-hearted view on something that is oppressing society. I don't care what colour the taxi man is. I don't give a rat's. Yeah. He's getting me from A to B. And I've had some of the best chats of my life in the car with Nigerian taxi men, because I learned about their culture at home.
Big time, yeah.
And some of the funniest people I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I'm just having a chat with them. I'm learning about their culture. They're learning about my culture. And I'm like, you know what? Great. This is fucking worth 30 quid on juice down my head. Yeah. This is illegal. And I'm like, I don't care what colour you are.
Yeah, exactly.
If you respect me, I will respect you. 100%. I don't give a rat's. I don't look at colour when I'm looking at people. I look at people.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just, jokes are as you said, they're a light-hearted take on societal problems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ricky Gervais is a severely intelligent man.
Big time. Yeah.
He is not coming out to offend people.
No.
I know his jokes do offend people, but he's not waking up in the morning saying, you know what, I'm a raging racist.
Yeah.
I'm going to offend a few black people today.
Of course.
He's not. Yeah. He doesn't want it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's taking a light-hearted view on societal problems, and that's what comedy is.
Big time.
Now, obviously, when people overstep the mark, I'll be the first to shut them down.
100%.
Because there is overstepping the mark from comedy to offensive things.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't deal with people who do that. But comedy is comedy, and we need comedy in the world to survive. I don't give a rat's. The best thing to do in the world is laugh.
Big time. It's like, goes back to what you were saying at the start. The best way of dealing with hard times is laughter.
Exactly.
And it's making people laugh, and making yourself laugh. One thing I think it's, I like how you mentioned the line as well there. I think, like, for example, I don't think you have any right as an artist, comedian, anything, as a white person to use the N-word in any context. I don't think you do.
I respect that Kendrick Lamar does, because he raps about oppression and everything. That's his thing.
Yeah.
like it's up for debate. I just, as I said, I just don't use it because I'm in the house of hip hop. I'm a guest, and I feel like I have to respect that because just because I'm a guest.
Yeah,
like
big time. I think I'd never use it either. I think as well, like it's going back to like kind of like it's just historically the way it used to be used and the way it still is used today is just not a word that can be incorporated into a joking manner at all. Do you know what I mean? It can't be. Do you know what I mean? No. It just literally can't. And it's just like, it was sort of like people, I've seen it being described to the word cunt before because people in America can, like, they can't, that word was like censored on television up until 2 years ago.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it was, or I was up until recently because
why is such an oppressed word in America though?
They hate the word cunt. They think it's the worst word you can possibly call someone. And it's like when Jim Jeffries, you ever see Jim Jeffries, the comedian?
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he's just fucking goods over there with his fucking tiny head. Like he's just all of his sets are just that, and he's just like, God is a 5'2" fucking Jewish prick. And then it's just like he's Australian. He says fucking cunt every 2 seconds. So because of him saying it a lot of times, it got uncensored. Apparently, that's what he says in his stand-up shows. But I think it's different it's completely different to that because it was used for the group of people that were black as such a degrading word, as such a like it was used by slave owners to look at them as cattle. Do you know what I mean? It was literally they were looked at as animals, and that's what they were. The N word, and that's it. They weren't people. Like what? No, they're not people. And it was the norm for so long, which is fucking twisted. But I was like, as I was saying about the line that you cross with comedy and making jokes and stuff, as far as like offense goes, it's like, supposing we were in England at a comedy show, and I'm just checking, it's recording. Supposing we were in England at a comedy show, and there was a English comedian on stage, and he was just like, "Oh, where are you from? You from Ireland?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he just goes, "Oh, if someone hide the drink or something, right? That would be funny." Do you know what I mean? I'd laugh at that. But he's like, "Where are you from, Ireland?" And I said, "Yeah." And then he'd say, "Oh, someone hide the food. He's probably starving. We starved out half his nation for 800 years and fucking made them all die. We caused the Holocaust over there and hid all the food on them and made them turn to Protestantism."
That'd be funny.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'd be just like, all right, that was specific and wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but if an English fella, again, it's context, and this word isn't as extreme as the N word. But if an English fella called you Paddy, in some context, it's a bit fucking.
It's derogative.
Like, it is exactly. It's derogative exactly, and it's like I think that's what people need to realize. I think so many people in every industry, people in general, people in society, just think it's an offensive word to describe someone. Like the way fat would be, or fat would just be an offensive word to describe someone who's fat.
So much more weight.
Exactly. People don't realize that it was for so long used as a word to just label you because you're black, and it's like such a it's like just calling someone like you Irish dog, like, do you know what I mean?
It's dehumanizing someone.
Dehumanizing, exactly.
Exactly what it does to people. It was a word that dehumanized black people because the white people didn't want to accept them as people.
Big time.
And people need to realise if you call someone fat, okay, you're still treating them as a human. Humans can be fat, but to dehumanize people, to brand them as that word,
it's disgraceful. That's
why it carries so much weight. And they're right to be uproared,
like the fat people do, but they carry so much weight. Go on.
They have a right to be uproared, and they have a right to want change.
Big time.
Because it's since I know it was happened before the 1920s in Mississippi, but since them slave days, it's been so many generations that haven't changed.
Big time.
And now come here, obviously it changed slightly, probably better from generation to generation, but there's still so many races in the world.
100%.
And what's happened in the past few months has brought them out.
So many effective racists as well.
So many effective racists.
If you have a little group, a community of racists in their little town in Louisiana riding their cousins, and they're fucking and they're just racist in their own bubble, and they're not affecting the rest of the world, okay, but it is affecting the rest of 100%. The world. I know from experience as well that, like, especially in Ireland, like, black lads do get treated differently. They do, like, in school and all, black lads are picked on, and it's like it's not right. Do you know what I mean? And it's like the same way, like, I remember I was on a beach, there's a status actually on my Facebook page where I say the N word, but it's quoting. So it's like, because I was outraged by it. I said that there was a group of, now this is when I was only about 14 or 15. I was on a group. I was on a beat. It was shortly after remember the Pope Marnock riots between the whites and blacks. I on Dollymount Beach, and there was a group of lads sitting there by a car, do you know what I mean, just drinking and smoking joints or whatever. And then a group of black lads walked on, and they were walking grand, do you know what I mean? There was nothing fucking, they weren't like, because you know when you see a group of anybody, you can tell if someone's looking for trouble if they're looking around and stuff.
Straight away, you can tell,
making themselves big. It's an animalistic thing, making themselves big, but. That was very Joe Rogan-esque there, wasn't it?
Animalistic.
Yeah. Wow, man. These kids are huge, man. But, you know, I only put up a status thing there in my story saying that he's not intelligent just to wind people up. And I have so many people texting me, do you know what I mean? But like, he is intelligent, obviously, do you know what I mean?
Slightly, but not as much as people make him out to be.
His following makes him stupider than he is.
He brainwashes people.
Yeah. In my opinion, his following makes him a lot more stupid than he actually is, because he's a very smart fella, but all his followers are just like, he's actually right, space is pure big, isn't it? And it's just like, space is actually mad. Never thought about space before. It's like the sea, but it's up in the sky because you can't breathe in it and you float.
Can't even live in it.
Yeah, you can't. No, there's no gaffs in space. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like that's mental and all. But like, fucking, can you go up to space in a scuba dive? So mad and all. I want to try DMT. What's it stand for? Joe Rogan, do you know what I mean? Told me about it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, fucking, that's the thing. It's just, it's following. But yeah, I think what the lads came on anyway. The black lads walked onto the beach, walking straight towards the water, just having a day at the beach, and one of the white lads just screamed, "Yes, dirty," just the N word, and I'm like, why would you do that to anybody? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you actually do that? Like, this, and the worst part about it is as well. And I say this is so fucking frustrating for black lads in Ireland and in Dublin especially, is, do you know, when I've been to Zante, right? And I always talk about fucking Zante and Amsterdam. I need to fucking travel more. Jesus Christ. Fucking, I'll even go awfully at this stage and get the coronavirus. But yeah, so I was in Zante, and people will be like, "Oh, are you from England?" And I'm like, "No, I'm from Ireland." And then they'll be like, "Is that not basically England?" And I'm just like,
hardly.
No, do you know what I mean?
It's
probably, if there was an exact opposite to England, it would be us. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like fucking. So that's really annoying for us. Now, if you have a lad, right, whose dad is Nigerian, right? His ma was born in Ireland, but she's black, right? She's born to a Nigerian family. His dad's Nigerian, his ma's Irish. He was born in fucking Crumlin, right? Yeah. He was born in Crumlin. He went to school in Crumlin, and now he's going to college in DIT in town, yeah? And you have someone calling him a Nigerian. He's like, "I'm Irish. I've been here my whole life. All I know is Ireland. I've never been to Nigeria. I don't even have any family left in Nigeria. My dad's just from there." Do you know what I mean? My dad's from Limerick. That's like someone saying to me, "Go back to Limerick." I'm a culture. I've never been to Limerick. Oh, well, I've been to Limerick, but I've never lived there. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Like, and it's like, I'd say it's so frustrating for black lads to hear that all the time. Do you know what I mean? To hear the kind of go back to your own country, and it's like, "Oh, I've born here." Do you know what I mean?
It is my country.
It is, exactly. It's everyone's fucking country, and it's like, if you want to have that logic, it's like fucking, like, it's like people saying to us, "Go back to England," because Ireland was England for 800 years. We were in England. Do you know what I mean?
For a good stretch of time. Exactly. People telling us go back to bleeding Manchester or something.
Exactly.
Like
that. And we were in England for so long, and it's like, it's interestingly enough. I know, I don't know how true this is. I think like for every day of the year, there's a different country who. It's a celebration for a different country who gained their independence from England at some point. Apparently,
yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Now, or either that or it's half the year. Apparently, I think half the year sounds more realistic, but at the same time, it's like they colonised everybody.
Look at the amount of countries that speak English.
Exactly, there's that, and look at the amount of countries with the English flag in the corner of the thing.
New Zealand and all, Australia.
Yeah, New Zealand, Australia, and I've seen this on the Blind Boy podcast. This is fucking just basically a review of the Blind Boy podcast. It's another voice crack, another fucking thing that happens on here. But yeah, I seen this. He was talking about there used to be a statue. He was talking about what's the name? I think there was a name he gave for it, but it's basically people iconoclasm, taking down statues of slave traders and taking down statues that people were doing, taking down statues of that scumbag Winston Churchill and stuff, who was looked at as an anti-fascist, which is the funniest thing in the world because he was the biggest right wing. He was basically he was another Hitler.
Literally,
you know what I mean? And but he was talking about the iconoclasm around the world of people ripping them down, and he was saying that there used to be a statue of Queen Victoria in town, right? And I think this is so interesting. There was a statue of Queen Victoria, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll rip it down," and blah blah blah. And then the Irish people said, "Well, no, we won't rip it down. What we'll do is we'll do to her what she done to us during the famine, and we'll send her to Australia on a boat." So they sent her to Australia. So in Victoria, I think it's Victoria Square somewhere, or in Victoria Street or something like that. There's that statue of Queen Victoria in Australia now to this day.
Really?
And there's loads of Irish in Australia. So Blind Boy was saying, like, fucking, if you're Irish and you're living in Australia, go and have a look. But like, if you go down Queen Victoria Street, you see this statue of Queen Victoria, right? You think grand, but she's there as a punishment for the treatment she did during the famine, and I think that's so interesting. That's mad, and she's still there to this day, and people just think it's just a statue. But that used to be on, I'm not sure what I don't know if it was in Dublin or Limerick, I'm not sure, but it was in one of the cities here, and we said, no, fuck that, we're going to send her on a coffin ship to the fucking to Australia. Exactly. So I find that so interesting, like there's been so much oppression, and I think as well great things have come from oppression as well, because if like
big uprisings and big rebellions like that,
and music, like
great music has come like from look at all the Irish music that came out of the rising, and
and as well like even like rap probably like because it's like rap originated, as far as you probably know, I was just reading into it, originated in the 60s. Around the 60s, when a DJ would talk over a track in a nightclub.
Funkmaster Flex. Not Funkmaster Flex. Grandmaster Flesh.
Grandmaster Flesh. That's him. Yeah,
that show on Netflix, to Get Down, kind of delves into the history of rap.
And I think it's like obviously it's a black culture. Do you know what I mean? Rap is, do you know what I mean? And which is great. Do you know what I mean? I think it's amazing, and I think these people who talk about segregation and talk about there should be whites and should there be blacks, and then there should be Spanish, and there should be a lot of different. I think like it's with inclusion you get these beautiful things that happen. And there was a good story about an Irish American and a slave, an African slave, and I don't know, it was the early 1900s, and they were having a dance off at the 5 Points in New York. It was a rough area. I think it was called the 5 Points, and they were having a dance off, and it's this kind of iconic dance off where he's known as the father of tap dance. This black fella, I forget his name now, and he was doing kind of tap dancing, and the Irish fella was doing a kind of Irish jig sort of, and it was kind of
slip jig.
And it was kind of mixed together, and it was this beautiful harmony of like this completely two different but similar dances, and it was kind of like the Irish drums mixed with the African drums, and it was just like, and it was ironically, you can guess where I hear that
Blind Boy podcast.
Yeah, exactly. He'd want to fucking sponsor me at this point. Fucking hell, or I'll be, he plugs his he loves plugging his fucking Patreon every week.
Does he have a Patreon? Yeah. You're going to say Bladen OnlyFans there as well. Imagine Blind Boy with the lad out.
The bag on his face. Just puts up fucking, how you getting on? Fucking has his flute with a bag on.
How you getting on, lad?
A bag wrapped around his flute on the thing. Fucking hell.
Swipe up for more.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. OnlyFans is...
It's a mad gig, innit?
It is, to be honest. I seen New York. I was in a heap. Voice crack again. I was in a heap at a fucking, we should make one called Only Flutes.
Only Flutes, Only Vans, Only Bladen Grands. But you know what the thing is about it? Like, they can do what they want. I don't mind them. And the likes of Julia and all. And the likes of, I was actually having a conversation with Jasmine Heaney. Sound. She's actually a really nice girl. Really nice girl. But the problem I get with some of them, rub it in my face. And they're talking about, I don't need this. I don't need it. Fucking 9 to 5. I'm like, will you get the fuck?
Yeah.
Fucking 9 to 5.
Yeah.
What do you mean fucking 9 to 5? People are literally trying to feed their families day in, day out. Can't be saying fucking 9 to 5.
They haven't a nice pair of tits or a nice arse to do it with, you know what I mean?
You know what? We've been thinking about it. When we whack on a little Brazilian cloak and whack on, and you know, like the little Versace robe.
Yeah.
Way down the bed. Ma!
Yeah.
Take a little snap there with it. Imagine me, €50. I'm looking at someone.
Yeah.
I want that TikTok girl starting. Nevo, no?
Nevo, yeah. She's making bank off that. Yeah.
Making bank off it, but
take me hat off to that.
I have to take me hat off, but she's talking wank on her story.
Yeah, I know.
And she was like, "No, come here. I'll say this now. Probably get backlash off it. A bloke should not be okay with a bird having an OnlyFans.
His bird having an no, not at all.
My bollocks.
Yeah, no.
As I said, right, this is the status I put up last week. If I'm down the local, right, and fair enough, I know my bird has an OnlyFans or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
If I'm down the local. Point of rock show in the hand.
Yeah.
What's the story?
Yeah.
And the boys. Some fella. Let's call him Brian. No, let's call him Breffney, right? Let's call him Breffney. Breffney walks up to me and shakes the hand. I'm like, what story, Breffney? Long time since I've seen you. What's the gig with the Ronnie?
Yeah.
And Breffney goes, do you know what? I don't know why he's from Bladen. Do you know what? I Bladen came all over my curtains.
Yeah.
So that picture your board put up on OnlyFans the other day, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, Breffney.
Yeah, exactly.
But look, they, like, blokes, I know, I'm all about women empowerment, and I 100% agree with it.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be okay with your board having an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I think
people seeing your board naked. A relationship is between two entities.
Big time.
And it shouldn't be expressed outside of that.
Exactly.
Shouldn't be.
That's the thing. And I think I think one thing that is kind of pisses me off about OnlyFans, right? Two things that piss me off, right? I say if you're a girl and you have it and you can go make money off that, fair fucks to you, right? That's great. 100%. If you want to do that, that's fine. But the problem is, right, they contradict themselves because for one, they say we shouldn't be objectified, right? We shouldn't be sexual objects.
Yeah.
Then they make themselves into a sexual object, right? And then you're just like, you're selling it, and I'm just like, and then they say they blame toxic masculinity on sex.
on
sexualizing women. But in fact, it's half of the girls who are putting up OnlyFans and stuff that are sexualizing women. Do you know what I mean?
And they're making money off the men they moan about.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah. And the thing is as well, I think if you're a man, right? I used to be a heavy meninist. I used to think that men were so discriminated against and stuff now, and they are in some respect. You know what I mean? Like 75% of the suicides are male, and like
male suicides are high because we're not allowed to speak out.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think a lot of men's problems is resulted back to toxic masculinity, making it sound like it's your fault in a sense, when it's not at the same time, because as you were saying about like you shouldn't be okay with your board having an OnlyFans, which I agree. I do agree with that, right? If my board had an OnlyFans, I wouldn't be with her. I'm with my girlfriend 6.5 years, and if she made an OnlyFans, I'd say, right, great, entrepreneur, will you walk away? Like, I mean, you're in a relationship with all your 500 subscribers now. You're not in a relationship with me.
100%.
And I think the part that bothers me as well is if you're a man and which for one, usually girls are actually more jealous than boys. It's just fellas it's noticed more because fellas hit walls and stuff, and girls usually are more jealous than boys. But everything should be equal in a relationship anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
I think if you're a bloke and you have a problem with your girlfriend having an OnlyFans and you speak out about it, then you're a toxic male. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Do you know what I mean? And if you ask them, because I've seen a few things on Horse Story, people ask now, like, is your dad okay? Is this okay? I'm sorry, like, if my sister made an OnlyFans, am I supposed to be okay with that?
No, I punched the
hell
off
my sister.
Yeah.
That's my sister who I've grown up seeing as this innocent girl, and obviously,
and she's being a virtual prostitute. That's what it is. It's virtual prostitution.
That's basically what it is. And I know that, like, it's photography and all. There's photography. Your Instagram is photography. This is pornography.
It is porn, yeah. It's porn.
It is porn.
There's a point that a lot of the girls make. It's just like there's a lot of fellas out there who watch porn. And they
I don't watch porn, so I used to always tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, happy days.
Fuck off. I don't watch it.
Yeah, and then fucking because it's fake, like, do you know what I mean?
It's fake, but it's not like, and it's
toxic.
And some people can handle it. It's as we were saying about grain. Some people can handle it.
Yeah,
but with porn, it does warp your mind.
Yeah,
like when you sometimes when you finish,
yeah.
And Joe Rogan said you're there like, oh, what the fuck am I gonna do? You feel like guilty. It's like PTSD.
Post-nut depression.
Yeah, post-nut depression, and you're texting the board 1 minute, and you're like, and then as you say, you watch a bit of porn, you're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Not arsed. Like I just stopped. I was off. I was going to sound weird. I was off for 2 years.
No, but it is addictive. Like,
no, it is. It's more addictive than heroin.
Yeah.
I was off for 2 years after I broke up with that girl, and then my 24th birthday was like, you know what? Go on.
Whack on a bit.
Bit of acid and care there, is it? Get the bleeding oil out. Who's on?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I was back on it for about 6 months. I was like, you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah.
I actually can't. And 5 months now I haven't, and I won't go back now because I know what it's like to go back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, they're like, well, blokes watch porn, and blokes do, and there's some blokes that watch sick porn.
Yeah.
Microwave porn. And all. Like, he was alright putting your mickey in a microwave. It's no more than there.
It's like South Park when they're bouncing around on a ball.
100%. Like, what the fuck? This is torture.
Yeah.
But like, as I said, I don't mind them doing it. They get your money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get your money, girl.
Yeah.
But
you do, you queen. Yeah.
Don't brag about it.
Yeah.
Don't brag about it on social media.
Don't brag about it to people who can't do it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't make us feel like saps because we have a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
We're out trying to fucking provide for our family. I can't bleeding. I don't have a rod like bleeding Simon Cowell. I don't know if Simon Cowell has a rod now.
Probably does too.
Probably does. Yeah, he probably got a bleeding lengthened or whatever. I don't know. But like, as I said, and do you know who does it very well? I'll speak up. Julia does it very well. Julia's respectful. She does it well.
She's fucking minted as well. She has loads of cash.
Minted. She does it respectful. Jasmine, respectful, does it well. Yeah. And as I said, I was talking to her, proper nice girl.
Yeah.
And she'd done a podcast before, and I was very surprised. She's a really intelligent person.
Yeah.
And the likes of them are respect because they're at the top of their game.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing, and they're not bragging about it and calling people clowns. Now, Julie's done a few things.
Yeah.
But then, your Neve was just really upset me, and she was like. Yesterday she was like, what about all the impressionable young teens you have in New York? And she goes, it's not my fault that their mas and dads, and this isn't the bleeding the ringer, it's just a few things she said. It's not my problem that their mas and dads allowed their daughters and sons to follow me. But I'm like, they They followed you from TikTok.
Fucking children's app, like.
Yeah, they followed you from TikTok though. You made your name off TikTok from young kids and young people.
And you're telling them that they're queens if they set up this OnlyFans.
No,
like, they're fucking
not queens. They're not queens, like. And you can't then contradict your fan base who have made you who you are on TikTok.
Big time.
And then just throw them aside because you're making more money on OnlyFans and then say, well, it's not my fault if they follow me.
No,
they made you who you are on TikTok.
100%.
You can't just fuck them aside now because you're going for a wider fan base. Yeah. And I'd say she doesn't give a bollocks about them younger fans now.
Not at all.
Because they aren't.
She never did.
No, they aren't numbers. No, they were numbers.
Yeah.
And that's what I say about rap.
Yeah.
My fans are numbers.
Yeah.
My fans are fucking fans. I love me fans. I'll interact with me fans. Yeah. Someone asked me for a picture, let's go. Let's go. Someone asked me to come out to that gaff and blade and surprise them for a birthday party, let's play and go.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between, if you're on social media, you have to realise that the people that are supporting you, they make you who you are.
Big time.
Regardless of what you do. They're not just numbers.
No, not at all.
The 6,000 people that are streaming my music, fucking legends. If I could meet every single one of them, I will.
Yeah, like the way you were saying that, like your viewers aren't just numbers. Like the reason I didn't upload to TikTok, even though so many people, including Gary V. Do you ever see Gary V? Like use the app, man. Like
his board is little.
What's it?
His board is little.
She is actually, she is. But
Robin a living he is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, stop. And he's gas looking. He looks like someone from Ballyfair. But fucking no offense to anyone from Ballyfair. But no, he was he, like, as he was saying to TikTok, you need to get on TikTok and all blah blah blah. But the reason I didn't upload to TikTok is like my comedy and stuff, my audience is for lads and girls who are 18 to 23, which a lot of 18 to 23 year olds use TikTok. But I feel it's like I don't know. I prefer to just put it out on different apps for some reason. Do you know what I mean? I think TikTok has this like thing. You go on to TikTok and within 3 minutes you see a 14-year-old throwing it back and you're like, what the fuck is this app? Do you know what I mean? And it's just like I think there is a problem as well with sexualizing everything in everything.
Nowadays.
Have you heard your one? What's her name? Megan Thee Stallion. Have you heard her songs?
The new song, her and Cardi B made a song called Wet Ass Pussy.
That's the name of the song. Like, never mind the lyric hidden in it.
No,
do you know what I mean?
The lyrics.
Eminem used to. I remember. Is that this fucking swipe it like a credit card song, or is that?
It's only new. It's we want to see the video. Like,
it's
mad.
Like fucking what's it called? And you're off porn. You're watching that now. But
I was like, Jesus Christ, you're gonna have a relapse here.
But no, I think like. I was that was actually, I had a mix on out in the garden the other day. I was doing a workout and that song came on and I was just like, oh, what's that like? And do you know what I hate? The noise that she makes at the start of her song. The song wrecks me head. And so I was doing a workout at the back and I had it on a speaker and I was just like, fuck this, I'm throwing this, like the fucking,
it's mad.
And like it's mad when you compare it to back in the day. Like Eminem's song Ass Like That was known as such a derogatory, horrible song. And like all he said, like, you make my pee-pee go, ba-doing, doing, doing. That was looked at as that. And they're literally saying, like, fucking, I'll put this pussy on your face and swipe your nose like a credit card. I'm like, what the fuck?
How has it changed?
Exactly. And you have young ones listening to this and young fellas who are listening to this who are like just getting the wrong impression.
The wrong idea. Like, I know they put the lyrics in, like, people like listening to stuff like that.
Sex sells.
Yeah, sex sells 100%. And I throw it in every now and again. I like to keep it out as much as I can. But sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'm at the jazzing on someone's face. Now, we're just like, fuck it, I'll throw it in. But like, the problem with what people do now, problem with what a lot of the younger generation do now is they imitate
big time
Cardi B and things. And listen, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, they're entitled to do that.
Yeah.
Fuck it, like, I know that some of Cardi B songs are legal.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
But they imitate it too much, and it needs to be cut out. And then the TikTok things, and I do see it. I'd be fucking scrolling, and I'm like, I see Alison Ray now. Come here, Alison Ray's bleeding. I will marry her.
Yeah, she.
I know I'll marry her.
Well, let her
I know she loves Cool Lock Swagger.
Yeah.
I know she's gonna put up a video doing it in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But then I scroll the next one, and there's a 14-year-old imitating her. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
Doesn't sit right.
It's
with
not
me.
healthy.
Doesn't
like,
sit right with me. I think now, if the likes of that are going to be on TikTok, it needs to be age restricted.
Big time.
And I know they'd lose a lot of their things, but I can't be having fucking 14. If my sister went on TikTok, she'd be getting, I'd be like the Undertaker coming out of WrestleMania. She'd be getting a choke slam through the leading table, and I wouldn't give her rats because it's just 14-year-olds until they're 18.
Yeah.
No, basically, I lost my virginity when I was fucking 17. So you saying that?
Yeah.
17 onwards.
Yeah.
You can talk about sex.
That's the legal age.
Yeah, that's the legal age. Whatever. Yeah. I don't want to see bleeding 14-year-olds.
Exactly, yeah. Do you know what I mean? And if you do, you have a problem.
You have a big problem, and as we said, I got rid of them kids in the basement. They're gone.
Yeah, they fucked off. They weren't working enough.
I got rid of my dirty bleeding laundry. No, but no, it's just people are going to get offended with it. No, they won't.
No, let them.
Let them, exactly, yeah. But now, like, I don't agree with 14-year-olds not being sexualized and apps like that.
No, neither do I, man. It's crazy. And the thing is, then you've got people like fucking, you've got people saying, oh, these kids are being taken for Pizzagate, and there's kids kidnappings and blah blah blah. And if you look this up on Google, if you look what's TV and television or something, someone said if you put a lot of kids in bikinis and all, it's like, this is disgraceful. But then they'll go on TikTok and they'll think that it's fine that a 14-year-old is sexualizing herself.
I know, yeah. I know. It's just because it's on an app and there's music playing in the background that seems acceptable. Like, but just, I don't know. Like, I don't mind TikTok, and there's a lot of talented people on it. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I can't even remember their name. There's some blonde girl on it. Yeah. And our edits and all are unreal. Yeah, there's a few good rappers I look at it on it, but just like then it. If you look at one video and it's amazing and it's well put together, it's well thought out, and I'll reference this blonde girl again. I can't remember her name. Yeah. But I'll reference her again. She's only getting 1,000, 2,000 likes a video. Then look at some 16-year-old throwing it back and has 500,000. And I'm
it's like, crazy. It's fucking mental.
And I'm just looking at like some of the lip syncing videos. Yeah. They're not even fucking lip syncing at the same time. Yeah. I was like, how does this have 500,000 views? Yeah, I don't know. How? Yeah. But like then again, I look at, there's a lot of talented people on it, and I do agree it's a decent app and you can get lost in it. But some of the things on it need to get lost.
100%, yeah, 100%.
That's the thing. Like, I don't think. Well, and here Trump might bleeding. Nearly got shot yesterday.
I'm sick of people throwing it back.
Yeah, I know. Sick of people throwing it back online. But he might bleed and get rid of it now.
Yeah,
so.
he might. You never know. Do you know what I mean? But fucking. Yeah, so before we wrap up, I think, because we're definitely over an hour, is it?
Over an hour,
yeah. So before we, what any immediate plans now for you yourself?
My immediate plans now. So I've had 3 albums this year. I've one more song to come out this year. It's going to be called Cool As I Want It. Yeah. And we will be doing a music video for it. Now I've only had a music video for Dublin Hun Down. It wasn't great. Tick-tock swaggered as well, but I'm going to do a proper one. I'm going to have a proper well put together. We'll be recording on Robbo's iPhone 11. Yeah. With the 3-camera gig going on. It's going to be banging. Yeah. I might do it on Friday. I'm having Bladen, going to go out for a few gargles. We might do it on the Bladen when we're on the way out having a few gargles. But because I think it'd be funny to do a video like that. It's just about having a buzz. Macaulay Culkin's in it.
Not taking it too serious.
Gaff on me own like Culkin. Yeah. That's the first lyric of it. Yeah. But yeah, that's the plan for this year. Now I was due to Bladen headline the Button Factory, but obviously fucking Corona and all that.
Fuck's sake, yeah.
But hopefully we're going to get back to be doing that.
Big time.
I've reached my goals for this year already. So we've had 7.7k on Spotify last year. Yeah. We're already at 17k.
No, fucking, that's
10k over.
That's sick.
And I've been on RTE, fucking RTE 2FM, which was mad. It was weird. Yeah. Tick-tock swagger. He was like, no, there's no chorus in this song. I was like, yeah, Captain, yeah, nothing. And all I heard is fuck Declan Rice. I was like, bollocks.
Did he play it on the air?
I did, yeah. He said, what you mean? He was like, I said, it's past the watershed. You can fuck off. Yeah. But now, big ups Bladen RTE for having us on. Like, yeah. But, so for the rest of the year now, we've released them 3 albums, and I want to take a break because people are slagging me. People are like, you have more albums out than Jay-Z. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but fuck it. But I'm going to take a break, and the next album we're going to bring out is probably going to be about 6-7 months away, and I'm going to. It's going to
put
be
some
the best
time into it.
It's going to be the best work I've done, because usually, when people are always asking me, and I'll answer it now, how long does it take you to write a song? Yeah. Artane Castle took me 10 minutes.
Did it? Yeah.
10 minutes. Yeah. There's actually a video on Instagram of me performing. I wrote that 10 minutes before. Yeah. Tick-tock swagger took me about 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's the best ones that.
The best ones are just because it just flows out of your head. My creative process is, I'll be in work. Yeah. And I'll be like, fuck me, that sounds good. Yeah. Or then my creative process, because I always say these cunts have time to go to the studio. When I make my songs, is the hour or 2 hours when my man lays the gaff. Yeah. I whack the Bladen Road mic out. Yeah. It's a wobbly cunt as well. So I go into the hallway. I don't have any soundproofing. Yeah. I don't have a Bladen producer in front of me. Just my thoughts. And I perform it in the Adobe Edition. And then I'll send it off to Steve. And I'll send him a layout and he'll hook it together. I don't have the studio time of these cunts. Yeah. I don't have the back end of these cunts. Yeah. So that's why I always say what I've done compared to them. Yeah. Fuck them. Yeah. That's what I always say. Because they have the studio, they have the back end, they have the people behind them. I'm alone here, obviously, with the exception of Steve, who makes the beats. And a shout out to Jack Wolf, who used to make them. Yeah. Legend of a man. He used to make me. He never made me beats. He did make beats, but before I knew how to put my songs together, he'd put them together. Yeah, sick. But that's what I always say. So I'm alone in the game, kind of. Yeah. These have the backends, they've PR campaigns, they've stuff like that. Fuck all, I've made me Bladen man, me Bladen stepped on the gaff, and me outflow around the corner. Yeah. But Bladen, so my immediate plans are release Cool As We Want It as a music video. Hopefully that blows up because it's a good track.
Yeah.
Relax for a few months. Let the brain cells rewire.
Yeah, big time.
I've made 28 songs during lockdown.
Fuck. Yeah.
And they're all out now.
Yeah.
So relax, let the brain cells heal, let a few more creative things come in. Get off the monster.
Yeah.
Hopefully marry a bird if I meet one.
Yeah.
I never will though.
Yeah.
You think when I'm gonna say this now before we go as well. If you're a white rapper, right, in Ireland, and you're scrawny like me and you have a lisp, don't think rapping is gonna get you a bird. Because it's fucking not. It just isn't. Look at me. I haven't had a bird in about 8 years. So you can take heed from my words.
But being single is what got you here anyway.
Being single is what got me here as well. If I had a bird, I wouldn't have played and released tracks like that.
Exactly.
But that song, One More, Blow My Muck, isn't a true story.
Yeah.
But now and then I'll have an album out. I'm going to say next April. I don't want to put deadlines on it.
Yeah.
I'd assume that from the creative process, probably next April, and it's going to be the best one I've brought out since.
Sick, man, yeah. Yes. But I think this is one of the best podcasts we've had. Yeah. We've had, I mean, and then it's the flow is unreal, and I appreciate you coming down.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for coming on, and I'll leave I'll leave everything down in the description. Make sure you follow on Instagram, and I know I say this every week, but I'll be more active with this. I'll be making more comedy style videos and stuff, and rather than just the guests every 2 weeks seems to be working. But it's just I'd like to pursue what I wanted to pursue with this channel. But as usual, thanks for tuning in to the Tick-tock podcast. I rarely say the name of it actually. I just usually start talking. But thanks for tuning in. I don't know what episode this is. It doesn't really matter. But have a good one. Eat your greens and all that, and stay off that creatine.
Bang, you're bored, no hassle. Built for the rush like a Martine Castle. Yu-Gi-Oh card holder, wanna battle. Come along sheep, does you see my cattle?